Hello, everyone, and welcome to another round of our Motorcycling Australia Women in Motorcycling interviews. I'm Jemma Wilson. I'm part of Motorcycling Australia's Women Committee, and today we've got Tayla Jones with us. Tayla Jones is an Australian who lives over in America and has been racing over there for the last 5 years. She's also competed in 8 international 6-day enduros. We were on a team together for 5 of those years. And before heading over to America, she also raced 4 years of Australian Off-Road Championships and 4 Australian 4-day enduros. Welcome, Tayla.
Yay! Super excited to be here.
We have been trying to make this interview happen for quite a while. We completely missed the June interviews because we kept crossing paths, and now I'm up in Darwin without my Motorcycling Australia shirt on, getting this done before Tayla heads off to a rehearsal dinner and I ride off into the desert for, well, not desert, into the wilderness for 11 days. So we've got the July interview done.
Yes, we've nailed it this time.
Fantastic. So Tayla, tell us a little bit about what you're doing at the moment. You're in Texas? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I'm over in Texas. This is where my girlfriend lives, but I actually live on the East Coast in South Carolina. I've been in America for 5 years, as you said, but it's been awesome. I know I race the GNCC series, which is a cross-country series they have over here. It's pretty massive, to be honest. We have at least, I don't know, I think it's like 4,000 riders on a weekend, which is insane compared to back at home. But so I do that full-time and also sprint series racing, but other than that, it's just dirt bikes full time. It's pretty awesome. I love America, and I love the racing here, but it's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. And so you've changed teams once over there. So when you went over, what were you doing and who were you riding with? And now, who are you riding with?
Yeah, so when I first moved, I was on a support Husqvarna team called KR4. It was my way into America pretty much. So I had support from Husky, but it wasn't like a full-time kind of thing. But then I won a couple years and that kind of helped me out. But so I moved from the support to the factory Husqvarna team. So I'm pretty pumped about that. There's not too many girls over here on a factory team, but I get to ride for one of the best ones, which is super cool.
That's awesome. Like you said, you had some success. So tell us about your 5 years in America and how that's gone for you.
It has been pretty insane. So I moved over. I was 20 when I moved, and I was like, the first year when I come here, I was like, just joining in, see how it goes, and ended up winning that first year. I actually won 3 titles that first year. I won the enduro, the sprints, and the GNCC. So holy shit. And then it's everything just hit me. Just at that point, it's whatever, just chilling, just going to ride my dirt bike. And then I was holy, I actually have to do this. This is full-time epic stuff right now. And then I ended up winning the next 2 years of GNCCs, it was super sick. So I won, I think in my first 3 years, I won 11 AMA titles. So it was an epic time. I had a lot of fun. And now all the girls are kind of caught up. They're this Australian just showed up and smoked this, and I was they had to step up, and they did. So it's now we're any weekend, any top 7 could win, and it's super cool right now. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely makes racing more interesting when you know that you're not necessarily going to win. And yeah, you had some injuries though. Was it last year that you hurt yourself?
So I've had a few. I ended up breaking all of my fingers on this hand. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty munted now. So I ended up, shattering all 4 fingers. And then the following year, I ended up breaking this hand. Got another nice scar, and I got a knee reconstruction the same year. So I know the last couple of years have been a little bit of a downer, but it's coming back up. My fingers work again, my knee's good, so we're just starting to get back up to the same level, and we're good to go again. We're healthy.
That's really good. And you've had some changes too with coaches. So you work with your girlfriend, do you, as because she's a coach, is that right?
Yeah, so my girlfriend Ali, she's a mental and off the bike coach. So she does both of that. I've worked with a couple other people over the past couple of years, but being able to do it together has been a big benefit. I see her every day, obviously, so she can tell me to go to the gym and work my ass off, or that kind of thing. So she pushes me a lot to be able to be better. But I know all around, she's probably one of the best coaches I've ever worked with. She knows a lot, and she's really good at what she does. So it's been a big benefit to my program, that's for sure.
That's cool. My next question was going to be, and so how is it working with like someone you live with, your girlfriend? But it sounds like it works really well, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about it at the start. It could have went either way, but I really enjoy it. I spend 24/7 with her anyway. She comes to all the races. She races too. Like, she does the sprint series. I think she got third in the championship and everything. So she's a really good dirt bike rider, and she gets to do the off bike stuff. So I have a lot of fun working with her.
That's really cool. And so, and like, who else do you ride with over there? Because there's a few Aussies over there at the moment. I know in the beginning you were riding with a few of them, but I guess you've made a lot of friends since then. You don't need to ride just with Aussies.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, especially in South Carolina. I think within an hour, I can find 20 to 30 people to ride with. But like Kenzie Trigger, who's from Sydney as well, I grew up racing against her, and she only lives 45 minutes away. So I get to go hang out with her and ride with her. And then Rachel Archer's only just moved here, but she's from New Zealand. So like, we're all in the same area and we get to ride together. And then there's a bunch of Americans. Like, I know I can ride with any of the top XC1 riders any day of the week. Like, just pick a gun, like, dude, where you riding today? And like, we show up. It's pretty cool. There's so many tracks and stuff here too. Like, I know from my house, I have a track in my backyard, so someone can come there, or I can drive 10-15 minutes and find 10 other tracks to ride. So it's like, it's super sick.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. Because you grew up in Yass.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and so like, compare that, how far you had to drive to ride with fast people and to race. Like, I mean, obviously America's a big place too. You travel a lot to race in America.
Yeah, we drive a bunch to race, but to ride, I can go anywhere. Like in Yass, I don't know, my closest track was an hour and a half away. And then you're not really going to find that many people to ride with either. So it was a big change. And then, I don't know, it makes it more fun, more enjoyable just to ride somewhere else every day instead of having the same track in your backyard just over and over again. Just, I don't want to ride here today, so let's hit up someone else.
And you definitely get carried along when you ride with other riders as well. Like, you might be not feeling it, and then you show up and they're pumped, so you get pumped. And it definitely changes the vibe of training, doesn't it?
Yeah, if someone else is like super stoked about this track, you're like, okay, then like you get into that groove, like, okay, I'm pumped too, like, this is sick.
Yeah, for sure. And so tell us a little bit then about how the racing differs in Australia, because I mean, there would be a lot of people, not just women, in Australia that would like to get to America and race. So tell us, like, what you wish you had have done in Australia before you went to America. Obviously you won the first 3 years, so whatever you're doing worked.
It's super strange. So the GNCC series is insane. So on a Saturday there, they race quads, and like, it's hectic. So like, the tracks are wide enough for quads to race, and then they don't have a set track. So at a GNCC, you got a 20-foot rule. They put arrows up, you follow the arrows, but you can go 20 foot either side. Like, pick wherever you want to go. If you can fit through those trees, you can go through those trees, kind of thing. So like, by the time we get the race, the track's like wide open. Like, you just pick a line, and then sometimes you're on the wrong line and the track's going this way. It's like, it gets hectic. So it's super hard coming from like Australia to do that, because we don't have that. Like, you follow the one track, there's one line everywhere, just follow it. So that was probably the hardest part I have had to adapt to, that and the lappers. Like, in my race, the morning race, we have 1,000 people on the track. It's like, you're just constantly passing people, and I struggle, especially like, I don't know, we pass on the left here, but in Australia it's the opposite, and it's like, people are going the opposite way to what I expect. And I hit a bunch of people, but I don't know. It's hard to like explain it unless you see it, but it's wide open pretty much. I don't know. But then again, like, our sprint series is pretty close to the sprints over here. So I enjoy them a lot more. I love the sprints. Less people, less passing, less people I have to hit, and the track's nicer. But that's a lot like home. So anyone coming here from Australia, the sprints is like the number one thing I'd get into. And then the GNCC is like, you got to build up to it. Like I won in 2017, but I'd been to, like, I come to America a couple times and did a race here and there. Like, so I learned what they're like before coming. I didn't just show up and expect to just win, but I don't know. It's different. It's a whole different world here. I don't even know how to explain that.
From like, because we do a cross country every now and then in Australia, if the weather permits and it's not like too crazy, and if the environment permits as well. I mean, yeah, allows us to do it, because we don't allow that 20-foot either side rule. So we have to have a property that already has like a bobcat width kind of track and doesn't go single lane too often. So it's pretty rare that we actually get a cross country in the Australian Off-Road Championships. But when we race together, I hated cross countries because I hate that elbow up style, going to hit people. Like, you know, we deal with a few lappers here in Australia, definitely not as many as you. And depending what state we're in, Victoria makes women start last. So we have a few more laps we race in Victoria. But yeah, I always knew that you would go really well at cross countries because you're that elbow up style, have a crack, don't be afraid person. So I think the GNCs did sort of suit you, and especially going over and having that bit of practice beforehand. Yeah, sounds like it helped.
Yeah, for sure. Australia is I don't know. I remember Victoria like racing, and we had to pass those, I don't know, 100 clubbies that were in front of us, and we're like, screw this. But then coming over here is like, I'm gonna go back to those 100 clubbies that passed instead of these 800 C graders that are just chilling out here.
And constantly, hey, because you lap at them, so that doesn't end. Like, at least we knew we'd get through those 100 dudes, and then we'd be like pretty free for the next couple hours. But yeah,
exactly. No, so we're the first row to take off, but then second lap, like as soon as you hit second lap, like 1 mile in, we're gonna start hitting lappers, and then it's like constant. You do not stop passing people for the next 2 hours.
That would be such a brain, like it was so hard on your brain and your mental capacity trying to work out what you're doing and what other people are doing for that many hours. So good on you.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty funny though, if you like sit behind and like rev your bike really loud. If you get, I don't know, some of them are okay, but some of them just like fully freak out and just start hitting trees. It's pretty hilarious to watch some people do that. Like it's I don't know what they do. It's just like they just get scared instantly and just hit something. I was like, oh shit.
So it saves you having to hit them if they hit a tree, obviously.
Yeah, you just gotta like prepare for them to just start doing random shit. So you just like sit there and rev it and then wait till they do that and then pass them. Otherwise you're gonna be taken out at the same time.
And then moving on from GNCCs, you've also had a really successful career at International 6-Day Enduros. So I think previous to you, I think I've only really interviewed Australian off-road girls that haven't done 6 days. So Jess is obviously the only person really, well, not obviously for everyone, but Jess Gardner is probably the only person who's done more 6 days than you in Australia. So yeah, tell us about 6 days. Tell us about that experience, and especially your first experience, because you got the call up to replace me in 2012 when I had 2 broken ankles, and you were super young, super underprepared, and you went off and you had a red hot crack. So tell us about the story of the 6 days for you.
Yeah, 6 days, I don't know. So it started because you broke your legs. I don't know. Jess decided she's gonna tell MA that I was the person to pick. I'd never done an enduro like that style. I'd done a few of the Australian off-roads. I'd ridden in the woods. I wasn't very good. I think there was 4 people in the class and I was getting 4th. So I was like, not killing it. And then I got this call up. My dad told me, he's like, you're probably never going to go again. So you might as well go this time. I was like, wait. So I went to Germany, and to this day, Germany was the hardest 6 day I've ever done, because I don't know, it just rained and we're in these mountains and I wasn't very good. And then it's like, I don't know, I was not about it. I got to day 4 and I think I ended up airing out, but also that week I was the only person to win a test other than Lulu. And I was like, holy shit. I was pumped, but it was also the day I hourred out. So I was having a terrible day, but I won a test. So I was like, hell yeah. But yeah, they ended up putting me in as a restart and I ended up finishing. So that was cool. And I had a great time, like the whole experience and everything. And then came to the next year in Italy, and I wasn't having a great season again. Like my off-road still wasn't very good. And then actually, I think it was Queensland Enduro. They were going to pick the teams the following week after that. And I DNF'd both days. I think I drowned my bike one day, and then I KO'd off a log or something the next day, and I was out of the race. And then they ended up picking me again. I was like, holy shit, they really want me to go? And then that year was that was a lot better. Like we won that year, so that was Italy.
And we got second, third outright too, us three Aussies, didn't we? No. Swede was in between. It was like first, third, fourth or something. Yeah. But that was like super sick. And from that point on, I was all about it. It's like everything I do to be back at the 6 days again. So it was like, I don't know. And then I've been 8 years in a row. I think the last one's the only one I didn't finish, and I'm knocking myself out on a bridge, which was pretty shitty. But I don't know. It's been an insane experience. It's the best thing I've ever done. Every year, like, I don't know what it is about Americans, but it's like they don't really want to go, which is super strange. Like, they have to tell people they have to go. Like, when they're picking the team, like, you have to go, and they're like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, screw that. I want to be there. It's the best thing ever. It's like, I don't even get to hang out with everyone from the world and get to race your dirt bike for 6 days. It's like, I'm not complaining. It's like, sign me up. So I was pretty bummed when we can't go this year. That was a bit of a killer. I don't know. I'm sad because I'm seeing everyone else getting ready and they get to go, and it's like, I'll just hang out here. But okay, so it's still on, but because Americans are going, but Australians aren't going. Yeah.
So everyone over here that I hang out with, they're all getting ready, and it's like, I'm not doing anything.
Are you still going to go and like go support, go hang out the 6 days and not race and just have a good time? I would do that.
I really thought about it. But then I also wanted to come home this year, so I was weighing my options. But still, Australia is shut down, so I can't even come back there. I was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. Everything in America has been open since it started, pretty much. Like, we were racing TNTs like a month later.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk COVID, because you're living in a very different world to what we are at the moment.
Yeah.
Sydney and Melbourne are back in lockdowns. Yeah, like things are crazy over here still. So tell us about America and COVID.
It's been insane.
America and COVID.
Yeah, like I've been talking to my parents, and they keep telling me what it's like back there down in Yass. So like, we had nothing like that. Like, I think we shut down for 2 months. I think it started here in like March. We had a race, and then we shut down for like 2 months. No one really knew what was going on, but we started racing again in May. Like, it's like nothing even happened. Like, they wore masks at the tracks and stuff, but not really. But like shops, everything here in Texas, South Carolina, anywhere pretty much on the East Coast, like free. Like, it's like nothing ever happened, like, at all. Like, they still talk about it every now and then. You might see one person with a mask on, and we're just over there laughing because why you have a mask on? But I don't know. People are getting their COVID tests. Like, most people here have pretty much done that by now. I haven't, just because I've been busy racing. Like, just need time to just chill out and go and do it. But a lot of people here have done that.
So do you mean vaccine or test?
Yeah, the vaccine.
Vaccine, yeah. Okay, all right. And so do you know anyone who had COVID? Have you been like immediately affected by COVID, or?
I've known a couple of people that have had it, not in a severe way that they were hospitalized or anything like that. There's been a few people around the track. I feel like most of the dirt bike riders had it, because at one point I feel like we all got like super sick and like just wanted to nap for a few days, and then we all come back and we're like, oh, that was fun. Okay. But I don't know. I feel like we all had it at some point, but didn't really get affected. There's been like other people that have been pretty affected by it. Okay. Yeah, but it hasn't been like super gnarly. Not for me, at least. I haven't known anyone that got super sick or bad about it.
Yeah. All right. And racing is normal, and America's going, because Italy, it's 6 days in Italy, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know what that's going to be like over there, but our race is like 100% fine. No, nothing's different this year.
Yeah, like World Enduro GPs are happening there in Estonia this weekend, and it looks like there's a few restrictions and a few like caps on numbers for spectators and things like that. But I mean, it's all happening in Italy and Portugal a couple of weeks ago. So, and there's a few Aussies racing in that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been super cool actually seeing the couple of guys that are over there. They're killing it. So that it's cool to watch that race it too.
Yeah,
I don't know why Australia's not like caught up. Oh, dude. I mean, he just like randomly just jumped out of nowhere and started killing everybody. It's like, holy shit.
Very cool. He stuck it out over there. Like, and I'm not dogging anyone who's ever gone over and tried worlds and haven't stuck it out, but a lot of Aussies go over and it doesn't work instantly, and it is really tough, and it's really different, and it's different food and different time to have dinner, and like it's very different. And then they sort of come home and say, well, I tried it and it didn't work. But yeah. Will went over and had no expectations and has just been doing his thing for a few years, and now look at him go. Like, he's winning outright sometimes, and it's just phenomenal. So good on him.
Yeah, it's super sick. I'm pumped for him. Like you said, like everything's different over there. Like me coming to America is one thing. Most things are the same here, like food and people speak English, and it's fine. But over there, it's a whole different world. So I'm super pumped for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, and like no one would really even know who he was here in Australia, because he he was always there. Like, we knew him, but outside like racing, people wouldn't even know like his name. And now he's like podiuming like almost every test. Like, it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's super sick. I seen he just got second in the super test.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Alrighty, so we have some questions that I ask every lady that does the interviews, women in motorcycling interviews. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
What was the driving force behind you becoming involved in the sport?
Honestly, I was super young. I started riding when I was 3. My parents actually raced dirt track cars, like in a circle kind of thing. But so they got me a dirt bike when they got my brother a dirt bike, and then we just started racing pretty much. I did flat track, did motocross. I've done pretty much everything you could on a dirt bike, except for, trials, I guess. I haven't tried that, but yeah, I've done everything from, flat track, motocross, supermoto, desert, everything. So it's like, I just grew up doing it. I loved it. My parents loved it. So we just did it.
Cool. Actually, you mentioned desert, which just made me think, because you did think, I think just that one year, but you got really, really high up outright, didn't you?
Yeah, so I've done 2. I think I was like 24th outright. Doesn't matter. I got second in the 250 boys class, which that's what I was pumped about.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Yeah. And that was before they had a women's class, so you didn't really get much media and stuff from it, but it was a fantastic result. So well done.
Yeah, I was pumped about it. I love the Fink. If I could come back, I'd race the Hatter and the Fink. They're the 2 number 1 races I'd come back and do in Australia, that's for sure.
Is that by any chance like in a summer break that you guys have, or?
Well, Hatter is. Fink's not, because it's in June, but we start racing the last weekend of June is when our summer break starts. So I could come back to Hatter. No, I thought about it this year, but COVID.
Yeah, but COVID. All right, so hopefully next year we'll see you at Hatter.
Maybe. I hope so. That'd be sick.
All right, next question. What kind of challenges do you face as a female in the industry, and if there are any, how do you overcome them?
Probably the hardest part is like getting the respect from it. I know I put in as much work as any of the guys out there racing, but like the pay levels and everything like that, like the support that we get, it's like I'm putting in the same amount of work. It's hard to like justify, because obviously the guys get more coverage, they get more of everything. So that's probably the biggest challenge. Just like getting the teams and sponsors to respect us as women. Like we're still doing this, we're still putting our lives on the line. Like, it's just as gnarly for us as it is for them. I'm still sending my 250 down the straight as fast as the pro 250 guys. It's like, it's the same, we're on the same level, just because I'm not beating them, I guess. I'm not at that speed, I don't know, but I still work as hard. I guess that's probably the biggest challenge. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm still like living my life. I'm still racing dirt bikes for a living, so it's like I'm still pumped about it. But if they could see it the same way that we see it, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, I think too, you got second outright in the 250 class at Fink. Like, the comparison isn't as big, the gap isn't as big, that the pay gap is and the respect gap is. And I've been saying for the last couple of years, like, it's not a hobby for us, but we get paid hobby money, and it's time that we got paid legit money because we are legit about it. But people like you, it's a slow change, and you're changing it. So
so I think it's definitely changing.
Sorry,
it's definitely changing. It's just very slow.
Yeah. Definitely very slow. But it is changing, and I definitely agree. And that's my thing too. I would never regret that I gave 15 years of my life to something that didn't pay me any money, because it was awesome. I'm not sad about it. All right, question 3. What is the greatest gift that the sport or industry has given you?
Probably the people I've got to meet. I don't know. I could go anywhere in the world and know somebody there. Probably not like a best friend that I've known my whole life, but I could fly to Europe and know 100 different people that I could go to their house and hang out with and have a great time and ride dirt bikes. And like, being able to do that, like, not many people can do that. Like, I don't know. I live in America now, and I know so many people, like, they're all my family pretty much. Like, I love them, they love me, and we can go and ride dirt bikes. That's probably the best thing. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Good answer. All right, this is kind of similar, but what do you love most about our sport?
Yeah, probably the same thing. That, and I don't know, the adrenaline of it. I don't know. I had my knee surgery last year, and Ali and I spoke about it a little bit, like how down I got not having the adrenaline 24/7, because like I get up and get to go ride my dirt bike and it hits me over and over again. So having that lull time is like, I don't know, what's life bring other than this? I don't know. I love that hit of adrenaline. I love being able to put everything on the line every day, even though you don't feel like you're doing that at the same time. Like, I'm just going to ride my dirt bike, but really, like, anything could happen. But I don't know. I love that.
It's really interesting that I've brought that up, because it's an interesting topic. I think that, like, the adrenaline side of riding a motorcycle at the level and the pace that you do, it's actually like an addiction. And so going through like a knee surgery and having that time off the bike, but living with someone who is a mental coach that can help you get through that is a really big benefit, because so many athletes struggle with that, because you just don't even realize it's going to be a thing until you're like, I'm so sad, I hate my life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how it feels. It's like you go into a super deep depression because you're not getting this rush of adrenaline all the time. And yeah, Ali and I spoke about it a fair bit, and she helped me. Like, I was meditating and doing all of this other stuff just to get me through a day, because I just want to ride a dirt bike or do something that's gonna hit me. She actually got me for my birthday. We went and drove a race car at a track, because I couldn't ride a dirt bike, but I wanted something, so we got to do that. So that was super fun. But yeah, definitely having someone there mentally to help through that was a big benefit. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is a very, very, very big benefit. All right, question number 5. What life skills have you developed as a result of motorcycling?
Life skills. How to be able to adapt to any situation, pretty much. I don't know, how to live out of a van for years. I could live out of my van and be okay, whereas most people probably couldn't. But I just pull over to a car park and like, have a nap. Yeah.
Okay, so adaptability and van life.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I like that. And so these are really interesting, these 7 questions, because like everyone answers them a bit differently, and I don't think that we've had adaptability in van life yet. So yeah.
Yeah, we gotta be able to like do anything. Like, things change all the time when you're racing dirt bikes. Like, I don't know, maybe it's raining and you gotta change your plans and do something else and be able to adapt to whatever's gonna get thrown at you at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, good. All right, second last question. If you could write a letter to your 16-year-old self, what message would you give? We're getting deep now.
Yeah. Probably talk more. I don't know. I was a shy little kid, and most people just like thought I was this weird, not very nice person, because I wouldn't talk to anyone. I'd just sit in the corner and hang out with myself, but I don't know, probably talking more, being able to get out there, show people that I'm a person, not just someone that rides a dirt bike. I don't know, that stuff. I'm still like learning that. I'm not great at it, but I'm probably not as bitchy as I was when you first met me. That's for sure.
I have a story. Do you want me to tell the story about my first impression of Tayla Jones?
Yeah, please do.
So we were at the 4-day in WA, and that was the first year that you were like, holy crap, like Taylor's riding really, really fast. And I had beaten you earlier in the week, but as you had warmed into it, you got closer and closer and closer to me. So we went into the final moto with like 20 seconds or something, and you're really good at motocross. And I was like, oh my God. So you were in front of me the whole time, and you were pulling away from me, and I could see that you were like at that cusp of 20 seconds, and I was like, Taylor's going to beat me. And then I think like you hit a root really hard around a corner, and you chained.
Yeah, I snapped my chain or something stupid.
Snapped your chain, yeah. But as I rode past you, it looked like you were holding your wrist, and we were about to go to the 6 days. And so I was like, oh no, like Taylor's hurt herself. Like this is really bad. But then I was also like, but at least you didn't beat me. So at the end of the race, I've come up to see you, and I was like, oh, like, are you okay? You're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, at least you didn't hurt yourself. Like I thought that you'd hurt yourself. And I had a black eye, proper black eye, because I had like concussed myself on day 2 or 3 or something. And I just had this shiner, and you were like, piss off or I'll give you another black eye. I was just like, oh my God, Tayla Jones is going to beat me up. But turns out you were joking, and I just didn't realize that you were joking. And I literally thought you were going to punch me in the face. So that was my first impression of Tayla Jones.
I do that way too often. I don't even know. Like, I don't even think about it in the time, but like hearing that story is like, I feel like I do that and don't notice it. So many people have probably met me and like, this person is not okay. I'm really not that me. I think I'm funny.
Yeah, and then I soon realized that that's your sense of humor, and you're a very nice person. But at the time, I was a little worried for my safety.
I did not give you another black eye. It's okay.
All right, and our last question. What is the most popular question that you get asked about dirt biking?
That's tough. I know. If it's a dirt bike person, I don't know, I get asked like how I started or whatever, like that kind of stuff. But if it's not a dirt bike person, I feel like it's the same for everyone. Like, do you do tricks?
Yes.
No, I don't. I do not do tricks.
Well, you do different kinds of tricks through the trees.
Yeah, I'm not throwing backflips, but I can do some stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then do you reckon injuries is the next one? How many injuries have you had? How many injuries have you had? Because I think you've been like fairly lucky-ish for what you do.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's been pretty spread out. I don't think I had too many in my senior career, but like I had a knee reconstruction when I was a kid, and I just had another one. I've had a broken leg, and then a broken arm, and then my fingers. My fingers are the worst. I think I have like 50 something screws in my hands right now. Yeah, it's probably the most gnarly thing I've done. Especially like I think when I did my 4 fingers, they thought I was losing them. So pretty stoked I have them one.
Yeah, that would have really sucked. Because I remember seeing photos of it and like the x-rays with all the stuff in there. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so that's my worst injuries, and then like the knee reconstructions. But other than that, I have been lucky, touch wood. Like I'm not gonna say that, but I haven't been too bad off, that's for sure, compared to a lot of dirt bike riders.
But you had a real bad break the year, because one of the years at the Australian Off-Road Championship, you rode in the like pro class. You didn't ride with the women, which was good for me because I won another Australian Championship that year. But you had I think you had a bad break that year, yeah?
Yeah, I was actually in America doing one of the GNCCs, like getting used to them, and I broke my ankle, and then had a couple plates put in that. So I missed a few rounds of the off road, but I was in the men's class. So I wasn't winning. I was like 10th outright, like, so I wasn't doing that great anyway. But yeah,
cool.
Yep, fun times.
Well, it has been really, really cool catching up, because since you went to America, I don't think. We did a couple 6 days together, Spain and France. We haven't really spoken, so it's been really nice to catch up. And obviously I'm an avid follower. I know your photos that you post. So I see the highlights reels.
Yeah, well, only the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the real bad stuff.
Yeah, and the gnarly stuff, just so I get more likes, you know?
Yeah, it's all about the likes, doing numbers. But everyone talks about you over here. You're definitely, a topic of conversation, how you're going over there, and everyone always wants to check in and see how you're going. So do keep posting, because because we don't get the media coverage that the men get, it is how everyone keeps track of how you're going over there. And we're definitely very interested and really proud.
Aww.
And it has been really interesting to see, like, you kill it for the first couple of years and then watch the American girls step up, which happened at the 6 days as well. Like, we used to just win hands down, and that doesn't happen anymore. It's watching women around the world get faster as well and catch up to Tayla Jones.
Yeah, thank you guys. No, I miss Australia. Like, I miss all the people back there, all my friends and you guys, and hanging out and racing. But hopefully more Australians will come over here and start racing too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get some more girls over there. I know Emma Milicevic, she's sort of started after you left, but you probably shared some motocross together, because
we grew up racing moto together, so I know who she is.
Yeah. So she's obviously doing really well in the enduro scene as well, but her focus is still motocross. But she has mentioned, like, she'd like to try things like GNCC. So it'd be cool to see her, get around and do a bit more racing and get some experience, like you haven't done everything except for trials. So
yeah, definitely, that'd be cool.
Yeah, awesome. Well, very, very cool chatting, Tayla, and we will keep track of you, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. All right.